Hey there, it's Max from Penjee, and here's a quick video about something called debugging in programming. Let's take a look at the next map you'll do, or the boss map. To complete this challenge, you'll need to write 15 lines of code. But what should you avoid doing? Well, you should not wait until after you've written 15 lines of code to test it. Instead, you should write some, test what you've written, and keep repeating this process. In this way, you're able to detect small errors in the stuff you've written before they compound and make it hard to resolve. Finding these errors is called debugging, or getting rid of bugs in your program. Well, why not write all of your code and test it once at the end? Well, it'll be harder to pin down syntax errors. Identifying small typos and syntax errors is more challenging when they're buried in so many lines of code. And right now we're talking about dozens of lines of code, but imagine how hard it'll be to find errors if you're writing thousands of lines of code and only testing it once. But let's see an example. What will happen if we run this code here? And I'll give you a hint. A syntax error will prevent the code from working correctly. Well, if you missed it, you're not alone. On line 14, a lowercase l, which should actually be uppercased in turn left, will stop the program from working. However, it's hard to detect this error with so many lines of code around it. We shouldn't have waited until we've written 23 lines, and instead tested our code more often. The best way to accommodate testing code frequently is to break it into smaller parts, or engage in a process of writing a segment, testing it, and identifying and fixing any bugs in it. You can also look at your map to help you figure out how to segment your code. For example, on this map, we could say that our first segment will be getting Pam along the first horizontal stretch. We can write a few lines of code to do this, test it, fix any bugs with it, then move on to our second part, which will be getting Pam down the vertical column there. We'll repeat this process again until we reach our third part, which will be getting Pam across a little horizontal stretch and ultimately grabbing that fish. By this method, we'll ultimately have written many lines of code to guide Pam to that final fish, but along the way have ensured that we can detect small errors that may happen in our code. If we leave it to the end, it'll be a lot harder to fix any bugs that could cause our code to work improperly. But ultimately remember that it's okay to make mistakes, and every programmer does. But skilled programmers know how to identify and fix these mistakes, or bugs, and we call this process debugging. And it's always easier to debug when you divide your program into smaller chunks, and test each of those chunks out one by one as you complete the assignment. So go on, and make mistakes, but always remember to debug as you continue programming with Penjee. But let's see an example. What will happen if we run this code here? And I'll give you a hint. A syntax error will prevent the code from working correctly. Well, if you missed it, you're not alone. On line 14, a lowercase l, which should actually be uppercased in turn left, will stop the program from working. However, it's hard to detect this error with so many lines of code around it. We shouldn't have waited until we've written 23 lines, and instead tested our code more often.